Good morning, Teach Better family. We are live, and I'm so excited to be with one of our featured speakers for Teach Better 22, and I have Erin Mengeu with me this morning. Just a reminder, October 14th to the 15th, we're going to be in Akron, Ohio for Teach Better 22, and I'm so excited for this event. If you want the full schedule of speakers or register for the conference, you can go to teachbetterconference.com to find all the information for this event. And of course, we are live on several applications here: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Twitch. Man, Erin, I feel like every day we get another application we're live on, which is awesome. But if you miss any of the previous Teach Better 22 series videos, make sure you go over to our YouTube page or Facebook page. You can check out all of our featured guests there. And I'm just so excited for our conversation today. So make sure you're jumping in the comments. If you're watching right now, you can ask a question. You can give some green hearts to Erin, pumping her up for her fantastic conference presentation that we're going to be talking about today. But before we do that, we're going to take a short break, maybe like 30 seconds. We'll come back and learn a little bit more about Erin. Good morning, Erin. How are you feeling today?
I am great. How are you?
Awesome. Anytime to talk with you in the morning to start my day. I mean, goodness, I've got coffee in hand. I'm ready to go.
Me too. I've got my coffee. I'm ready.
I'm in good company then. You're already starting to get some love. I'm seeing the green hearts showing up. Good morning, Ray.
Oh.
Brianna here too. So that's fantastic. Make sure you're jumping in the comments. And if you have any questions for Erin this morning as she's talking, feel free to throw those in or just some words of encouragement. Erin, I would love to learn about you and your educational journey.
All right. Well, like you said, I'm Erin Mengeu, and I have been a classroom teacher for 18 years. And I have recently gone in a new direction. I right now am teaching graduate level courses for teachers, professional development. And in the past 2 years, I've been working on a big project, which was my first book to publish. It's a book for teachers. It's called Slow Down, Children Are Learning. And I was really excited to complete that project. And I've got more up here ready to come out, but not quite on the paper yet. I am a busy mom. I've got 3 kids. I know it's not 6, Joshua. Can't do 3 is my max. I've got 3 kids. They are 11, 9, and 7. They are all very different children. They keep me on my toes. But I'm enjoying a little bit more of flexible time with them now that I'm involved in education in a different way other than being in the classroom. But I do miss the classroom desperately. So to get my classroom fix from time to time, I substitute at my teacher or at my kids' school. And it's always fun to see your own children in their classroom setting as well. So that's me.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your new role. So, what's going on outside of the classroom that you're doing now?
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I have 5 graduate level courses that I wrote and teach through 2 different universities. And basically they're self-paced online courses that teachers take to get their professional development credit hours. So I do that, and I love it. I enjoy hearing teachers reflect on their practices and improving what they're doing. One of my very favorite things about teaching was following great teachers and grabbing ideas from other great teachers and then changing them to fit your classroom and to fit your students perfectly. And now I get to help other teachers do that in their own self-paced, self-directed, self-motivated way. So it's fun.
That's awesome. So Erin, I want to kind of shift it over to the Teach Better conference. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited, and I'm wondering what you're looking forward to the most for Teach Better 22.
Well, anybody who knows me well knows that I am a super transparent person, and I'm going to be completely honest. I have never been to a conference, and I have never spoken at a conference.
Wow.
So I am so excited for this unknown. I'm like the infant in the stages of this whole realm of education. So it's very exciting for me. The district that I taught at, we did a lot of in-house training, learning from each other in-house, but they did not do a lot of sending us out into the world and seeing what other people are doing. So I never had that opportunity. So this is really exciting to see what it's all about and to share what I've done and what I know and what I'm passionate about, and just help other people get excited. The other great thing about the Teach Better Conference is it's in my hometown, which is Akron, Ohio. I've been away from Akron for 3 years. We live in Michigan now, and I'm super excited to be in a professional setting in the town or the area where I taught, and where my friends and family all are. So that's exciting to me.
So exciting. So let's go to the conference. You're going to go in for the first time. I know you're going to love speaking in front of folks and being a part of that community. So what is it that you're so passionate about that you're going to be sharing at Teach Better 22?
All right. So I am so passionate about developmental growth. And that is a big word, and it's not a word you hear a lot. But what it is slowing down to develop a child so that they have the tools to achieve success in their learning. So I taught every grade from 4th grade down, but I ended up in kindergarten. And by the time I got to kindergarten, it was this fast pace curriculum where, these kids came in not knowing what hand they wrote with. And by the end of kindergarten, they're writing a paragraph. And it's like mind-blowing, right? And then you hear the 2nd grade teachers say, they don't even use capitals and periods. Well, they weren't using capitals and periods because we flew past that. We didn't spend time developing that as a habit. When you or I write a sentence, we don't think to ourselves, that needs a capital. Don't forget the period. We don't have to, because it just happens. So if we don't slow down to focus on those fundamental things, they're not going to be habitual. But the bigger part of developmental growth is the mindset and executive function skills and motor and sensory development. Our school removed handwriting from the curriculum, and handwriting lights up a part of your brain that nothing else lights up. And we're taking away the opportunity to develop a part of our brain that isn't going to be developed otherwise. So writing letters top to bottom, left to right, like some things that we might think are really silly and we've got more to teach, we can move on. But we're missing out on that development. So my session at the conference is called Slow Down Now to Go Fast Later. And, you think about when an archer shoots a bow, they pull back really slow and they focus. And when they let go, they hit their target. So it's like front loading in education. You focus on the tools to fine tune it, to focus in on the right things. And then by the time they're in middle school and high school, or venturing off into college or whatever it is they're going to do post high school, they'll have those tools to seek out, they'll have the tools to achieve whatever it is that they're seeking out in their careers.
I love it. So you talked about your book that has just been released. So I'm guessing that the session is correlating to the book?
Yes, the book, there is so much in the book, but it'll be much more narrowed down. I am going to talk a lot about just what slowing down means and what that means in different grade levels. Even a high school teacher can slow down and front load, that first month, or at the beginning of a unit, to like make sure that the students they know how to function throughout that unit. They know how to function in your classroom. They know how to problem solve. They know your expectations for collaboration. It's all those things. So the session will be fine-tuned, and I will give tips, great takeaways on how to slow down, what that means for a classroom teacher, what you can do, the resources that you can access to do so. And I think what a lot of people will find is some of the things that we've gotten rid of because we're so fast paced to move on and know more and have more knowledge. Some of the things that we've gotten rid of actually were really good things. And so there's some good reminders of not what to use, but why we use those strategies, and how to access great strategies from like your building specialists and other places to access that information.
So Erin, I know probably some folks are watching there, they're getting a little nervous because you said it, right? Time is such a valuable thing to teachers and to educators. So, if they're thinking, okay, I don't have time to slow down, why should they come to your session? And is that maybe a misconception?
It is not a misconception. Teachers are overwhelmed more than ever today. And gosh, there was another speaker that's going to be at the session that nailed it when she did the interview. I think I wrote her name down, but she was, she taught at like a multi disability school with blind children. And she was sharing that, one of the reasons that teachers are overwhelmed and that students are falling behind is because they're lacking executive function skills.
Right.
And that as a special ed teacher, a resource teacher, a specialist in the building, she has all these strategies that she can use, all these accommodations that she uses with her students that are on IEPs. But those things work for regular general ed students as well. Yes, Marie K, that was her. Ray just reminded us.
Yes.
Yeah. But all general ed students can use those great strategies that the specialists in your building use. And I know teachers are like, oh, don't give me one more thing. But what my session will do is will remind you of the value in the things that you might be thinking about getting rid of. So a lot of what I discuss are things teachers are already doing, little things, but considering getting rid of because of the fast pace of education. You can't fit everything into a day. You can't. So it's placing value on what you do and making decisions on what's best for the child or the children in your classroom.
I love it. So Erin, you have brought up the term executive functioning skills. So I'm just curious, when you were in the classroom, like what were some of the things, the strategies that you used to help your students develop those executive functioning skills?
Yeah, so executive functioning skills is like not a new buzzword, but it's so popular right now. And we know more about our brain now than we've ever known before. And so with executive functioning, it's being able to plan and organize, to initiate a task, to see a task through, to know what your end result's going to look like, how much time you have to get it there, and then how to execute that plan. And I learned, I was sitting in all these IEP meetings, and I would hear, this was years and years ago, oh, executive function this, executive function that. And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know if I fully even understand that term. And if I don't, the parents sitting in this meeting definitely don't. And I'm the girl that always asks the questions, even if she thinks they're dumb questions. And so, I asked, what does it mean? And the school psychologist explained it so well. And it's, inhibitory control, being able to understand your emotions and control them. And I taught inclusion at the time with our speech and language pathologist, and her passion was executive function. So she came into the classroom every day, and we taught skills for executive function. Each child had a different role. They would make lists. They would check off the list every step of the way. We taught lessons on scarcity. So if you and I are in a group and we're making, this is just off the top of my head, we're making, let's say, a craft with a flower, and I really want the pink flower, but there wasn't enough pink construction paper for me. Do I quit? Do I throw a fit? Do I remind myself, it's okay, I like purple also? Do I fight for that pink piece of paper with the girl across the table grabbed before me? All of those things your brain processes, and those are the things that we have to teach our students. They need to live through that and know what their options are for responding when they are in front of, a group of peers. One of the biggest aha moments, one of our teacher convocations at the beginning of the year, they quoted a Fortune 500 company, CEO says, the things they look for when they're hiring people are communication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills. Right. They said everything else is teachable. But those things, collaboration, communication, and problem-solving, those happen over time. So if they don't have them, we don't want them. And so that's what we need to be teaching students. And that is executive function: how to speak, how to listen, how to respond, how to organize, how to plan, how to execute. So I have tons of strategies. Executive functions, of all the areas of developmental growth, that is I feel like it's the most important for life skills.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like growth mindset's a little piece of that. Yes. Is that something that you touched on in the classroom?
Yes. So in the classroom, we talked a lot about how your brain works, understanding how the different parts control different things, and that we can grow our brain. Also, just building relationships is a huge part of the growth mindset, and showing them that we are going to fail together. I have one of my own children is somewhat of a perfectionist, and I feel like in the early years I may have created that with these expectations, and I have learned a lot from parenting along with teaching and then doing research for my book. But there's a chapter on growth mindset in my book that talks about just simple little things you can do in your classroom that maybe take no time at all, but failing forward is one of them.
I love it. Ray was saying that, 6 kids. I have a lot of kids, and no, Ray, I am not a robot, but it's definitely a crazy time in my household. And I know for 3 kids, you've probably learned quite a bit as a parent that's translated to the classroom.
Yes. As a parent, and I think being a teacher parent is even a whole different realm, because I, at one point, worried about, what my kids went to the same school I taught at. And so I worried about what everybody thought. Oh, it's Mrs. Mengeu's son. They're supposed to be perfect, right? Mrs. Mengeu's son should be, they're a teacher's kid. But teachers' kids are as crazy as anybody else's child. And what I have learned, and I'm sure with 6, you have seen the same, is each one of them is so different. And the way I communicate with my son is completely different than how I communicate with my middle child. And then my youngest one, that's this spitfire and just a leader. She just does whatever she wants, right? She doesn't take no for an answer. And so it's crazy. And when you are a teacher, you know that that's true in your classroom as well.
All right, Erin. I'm so excited to meet you in person. I know I'm going to blink and we're going to be in Ohio all together, and it's going to be fantastic. I just Want to mention again, you got a new book coming out, Slow Down, Children Are Learning. It's going to be in the conference bookstore.
Yes, it is. I have one right here.
Love it. So make sure you check that out.
Yes.
At the conference, meet her, go to her session. Again, it's going to be a bunch of strategies as far as slowing down. For those who want to connect with you prior to the conference, though, Erin, how may they do that?
So I have a blog. It is www.BeThereDifference.com. And then I am on Facebook and Instagram at Be There Difference. And I'm on Twitter at Be There Diff.
Awesome. All right. So, Erin, do you have any strategy for the conference as far as trying to meet everyone?
Oh my gosh.
Questions? I mean, how are you going to?
Well, like I said, it's my first. So I have so many questions for you guys. Like, should I stay at the hotel? Like, my family's right there. Should I stay? If I want to meet everybody, like Ray and Brad and Dave, like the people I've talked to, and I've been face to face through the computer. Like, somebody was mentioning hugs. I think it might have been the same Marie. Okay, like I am a hugger, and like being with people is so much better than this virtual stuff. But I'm just so appreciative of the Teach Better team, because I kind of feel like, who am I? Like, I'm just this girl up in Michigan that nobody, I'm just trying to meet people and be with other people that are like-minded and want to make a difference. And I'm just pumped to be face-to-face and meet. So yes, I will be trying to meet everybody, shake hands, hug, hang out. And as far as the sessions, I'm going to be in as many of them as I can. And fingers crossed, I'm able to speak in front of adults. I know I can do it in front of kids.
You'll be great. You're going to be fantastic. I have no doubt whatsoever. And then I just want to mention, the comment here as far as the networking. So at the end of every single day, we have a networking event at some type of location. And I would highly recommend it. I was at 2019, Teach Better 2019, and it was fantastic to be able to meet all the different people that were speaking and the folks that were at the conference. It's such a family feel. And yes, hugs, high fives, handshakes, the whole nine yards. It's going to be a fantastic time. So highly recommend those networking events in the evening. You're going to make some lifelong connections. I promise you that. So again, awesome. Review, we're going to be up in Akron, Ohio, October 14th and 15th. Make sure you register. If you want more information on the event, go to teachbetterconference.com. Erin, it has been a true pleasure to spend just a little bit of time with you. I can't wait to meet you in person. But before we do that, do you have any final words for our folks this morning?
No, just see you at the conference. I hope you're all there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in a very, very short time.